Good morning, this is Beaty-Coffey of the Ministry of Uncover No More. I am studying Elizabeth Barrett Browning's Sonnets from the Portuguese right now. What a thing of miraculous to me. I'm finding out how truly poetry does heal me. Because that's not the only poem I'm studying, and it's just there's poets like Stephen Vincent Benet, and right now it's Sarah Mithra with If the Color is Fugitive. Pretty little cat sitting here that I found at my beautiful shop, the Book Woman, and it's a beautiful shop, and here in Austin, and those two poets, at least in the works that I'm studying, the Western Star has to be put on the shelf for just a bit. But this is the same truth. If I read those, a portion of them, it takes me back to history of the pioneering days. And you have to understand, every generation has those places, not just this country. So that's my perspective to remember, because I know a truth, and that truth is you don't ever forget love. You just choose it, or perhaps it chooses you as a vessel. I think that may be true, because I witness people who become very short-sighted in discouragement and bitterness, and I will just be honest and say that's hard to live with. But if you're me, or a person like me with a visionary tendency that is very powerful, there are times when you rise above and below, and you rise below that difficulty in your life and can see the beautiful golden sacrifice of all the people groups and how it brought you to where you are. You can do, and you should do that. If I'm in a time of busyness that is negative in nature, or I'm needing to accomplish things regardless of the aura around me, I can't do it. A lot of times people would see me at coffee shops and whatnot in the past. I couldn't do it. In the middle of the struggle, I would have to remove myself. And so I share that for you, whomever you are. I maintain that there's a lot of us that have way more visionary ability than we know of. Perhaps you have a skill I didn't have for a little while, which is to sit right where you are in that place of difficulty and go to that little place where you see the sacrifices and how worthy all of us that are good people are, and include yourself in that pontification, and smile inside and on your face. Maybe sketch a little something, or see a little flower and put it on social media or something to tell the world we are we. And I do that part a lot, and I can do that. All I have to do is go out to my sunflower forest, is what I call it. It's a little wee thing that helped me relearn how to hope in this new life of mine, and that's all I have to do. But also dandelions pop up in our yard, and that's always pretty to see. If I take a little walk, sometimes I'll catch some little purple flowers, which recently got put on my social media, and stuff like that. So there is the visionary side that I'm within right now. Excuse me. I'm having to put out my incense. It's making my eyes itch a little bit. Be careful for incense. It can inundate the atmosphere to where you need to put it out. So I have read through verse 14 of Sonnets from the Portuguese, and where I am in this season jumped out at verses 13 and 14. But I am aware that it takes the 12 before to have brought me to this place, and that's where it provides a little bit of panic attack. And on my artistic side, I need to set that aside. So if I talk about it and admit it before I read something beautiful, my soul can choose to rest, because I will handle it. I have a whole website for the Barrett Brownings, and I have time. Digesting poetry is what brings a poet like myself healing. And the thing is I didn't even know I was a poet. It was an evolutionary process. I could not have been me until I was 57. And Elizabeth Barrett is the first one. I can show you the artwork. I think it's already on the blog. That I began to write poetry as I read hers, which is an evolutionary maturation that I rejoice in myself that I have. Am I sharing this with you because I'm proud of myself? No. I am sharing this with you in a wasteland, and I am equally doing T.S. Eliot's Wasteland. So, excuse me, I'm going to get extremely intelligent with the idiot crowd. Don't fuck with me. Take your negativity hat off. Broaden your horizons. I share what I share every day. For one reason, I know I'm in the wasteland and you are too. And I know we need to create ourselves, not recreate, create ourselves. And I know that if you don't understand the sacrifices and the suffering that went on before you, and the joys, the temptations that were given into or refused, all of it. If you don't understand that, you will never understand your evolving self, and you will become stagnant in a wasteland, and passive aggression will be your main objective for the rest of your days. Let the little children come to me, and do not forbid them, for such is the kingdom of heaven, is what I'm talking about. You've got to nurture your childlike nature. Your childlike nature is the only part of you that will be able to create, not recreate, create. Your soul. I just read a half-truth on Twitter about forgiveness. And so I lift them up in prayer, invocation, that they will understand that forgiveness is not what they're saying it is, because they are in a cycle of difficulty. To protect themselves, that's what they need to see. It is possible to forgive wholly everyone, even those that really, really committed crimes against you, which supposedly I don't have the right to say that, because I've never been raped or molested and all of that. However, I am the mother of 10 children. And there are some things that we have the right, as mothers of children, there are some things that we have the right and the responsibility to say, whether we experienced it or not. If you don't like that, get off my websites. You are of an arrogant spirit, and you will never hear my voice. You will just tear me down. And yes, I have people like that in my life. You do not have a teachable spirit. It's that simple. All right, I think I cleared the air. Verses 13 and 14 of Sonnets from the Portuguese by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And wilt thou have me fashion into speech the love I bear thee, finding words enough, and hold the torch out while the winds are rough? Between our faces, to cast light on each, I drop it at thy feet. I cannot teach my hand to hold my spirit so far off from myself, me, that I should bring thee proof in words of love hidden me out of reach. Nay, let the silence of my womanhood commend my woman love to thy belief. Seeing that I stand unwon, however wooed, and rend the garments of my life in brief by a most dauntless, voiceless fortitude, lest one touch of this heart convey its grief. If thou must love me, let it be for naught, except for love's sake only. Do not say I love her for her smile, her look, her way of speaking gently, for a trick of thought that falls in well with mine, and certes brought a sense of pleasant ease on such a day. For these things in themselves, beloved, may be changed, or change for thee, and love so wrought may be unwrought so. Neither love me for thine own dear pities, wiping my cheeks dry. A creature might forget to weep, who bore thy comfort long, and lose thy love thereby. But love me for love's sake, that evermore thou mayest love on through love's eternity. This is Beaty-Coffey of the Ministry of Uncovered No More.